tonight.
Well, guys, you are not going to believe this, or maybe you will. It is 5:45 a.m. in the morning on February 11th. I would first like to send out a thanks to my guides because I know they had something to do with this. I think after the last experience I had, they wanted to make sure that I knew that I think what I did was a good thing in communicating what I communicated to you and really learning from that situation. But let me get right into this experience that I had. Very interesting, guys. Very interesting. I am excited to communicate this one. It's very different than my last experience. First of all, I want to tell you this to set this up. I want to set up the picture before I did this. Again, I was up late. I was working on some things, Spanish. You know the deal. I always talk to you about the fact that I'll get up sometimes late and I'll work on my Spanish or whatever, and then I'll go to bed really late before going to work and maybe just, sit and rest. I don't know if you can even call it going to bed, actually. I just kind of rest my eyes and chill. Now, this time I have to tell you that before I laid down, I didn't even turn my light all the way down. I have one of those lights that go down. You can, make the intensity higher or lower. And I just lowered the light just a little bit so I would be okay, I could relax. And then, guys, I put the news on in the background. I was listening to the news, I like to listen to NPR when I get up in the morning just to, see what's going on out there in the world. And since it was like 4:30, almost, 5 o'clock in the morning or whatever it was, I thought I'll just lie here and listen to the news for a little while. And I'm just going to close my eyes and rest. Again, this goes back to what I always tell you about not having expectations when you do this and just chill. Stop trying so hard because many times I believe it will come to you if you do that. And I honestly was not expecting this at all. I think I had some sort of thought. I was thinking to myself, well, it might be interesting to see something visually because sometimes when I shut my eyes, I can see visual things. I could see something at, I don't know, I could see, I was picturing or wanting to picture maybe the galaxy, at the edge of the galaxy. That's another trip that I've wanted to take. And so I was thinking about that a little bit, but nothing more. And I honestly did not think I would even be able to do that. But boy, was I wrong. As I was lying there, just relaxing, suddenly it came over me. I mean, I just snapped into that middle place that I'm able to go to, that sweet spot that I talk about. And this was a very beyond body kind of thing. Again, for those of you who may just be popping in and may not have heard me talk about the beyond body, the biggest difference between the beyond body and astral projection is as I don't feel my soul separating from my body. I feel as if my entire body is in movement, whether it is turning in a certain direction, propelling itself through space. There's movement, but I feel as if my entire body is moving and I do not feel the separation. In this case, guys, I felt that moment where I got into the in-between state, and then I felt myself starting to fall off of my bed. And I've talked to you about this before. I believe on some level that all of these movements and all these things I feel, these sensations, are some sort of navigational system that I've developed on some other level. my expanded self perhaps developed this navigational system where maybe going to a certain direction here, doing this, going left, going right, going up, going down, going forward, these things mean something to my mind, my physical 3D mind. And that's how my physical 3D mind is interpreting it. But I don't believe that I'm necessarily doing that. I'm traveling, but I'm traveling in a way that is different. It's not like moving left or moving right or whatever, but that's how I feel because that's how my mind is sensing it. And it's a way for my mind to understand that something's going on. Now, I felt myself fall to the left, and I went down in that usual way, and then I started feeling myself moving forward, right? So it's so funny. No matter how many times I do the thing where I fall, I do always feel as if I'm going to hit the ground. I was waiting for the impact. And this time I was waiting for the impact because I got into that middle state so suddenly. It was very quick. I will sometimes think, man, maybe I'm imagining being in this middle state. And when I come off the bed, bam, I'm going to hit my head or something. And it's not going to be a good thing. But I did not hit. When I fell, I stopped and then I started moving. I was in motion, guys. And slowly, as I went in, as I moved forward, and by the way, as I was moving, I want to tell you this, I was saying to my guides, because I was thinking to myself, well, I mean, I'm hoping this one's going to be a more, a fun trip, this is going to be a cool trip. I've gone on, now I went on a pretty intense one where I learned something very deep. And now I wanted to go on something fun. And I told my guys, I said, show me something cool. I want to see something cool. So I felt myself accelerate at that moment. I felt myself accelerating and moving even faster than I was moving before. And then I slowed down. The darkness slowly began to lift, and my scene, this world where I didn't know. I never know where I'm going, guys. I don't know. But this world revealed itself. I was in a house. And this house, what I remember about it, the first thing I remember about it was a very spacious house. It was a normal house. There was nothing out of the ordinary except, well, with this big exception, there were pictures everywhere. And the pictures were of a woman. The woman, number one, let me tell you that the pictures were all in black and white. And it gave me the sense that all these pictures were taken perhaps in the 1930s, 1940s, but they were all pretty much of this same woman. She had dark hair. She was white. She had dark hair, kind of palish skin, and then I could see the lipstick. But again, these were black and white pictures, and they were in the style of someone that might have taken them in the 1930s. And this woman looked like she lived in the 1930s. And these were all up on the wall, and there were many, many, many of these pictures. And I was checking it out. I thought it was very interesting. In fact, as I was checking all these pictures out, I put my hand up and I ran it along a wall that was near all the pictures. My hand was black. Now, I haven't talked about my race very often on this channel because race isn't really a relevant thing with me. I don't really care about it. I'm only talking about this because I think it's kind of interesting, the contrast here. Now, I am African American, I'm black, and and that's in the 3D world. So I put my hand up and I ran it along the wall, and my hand was dark. That was my hand that I was seeing, guys. So I was black in this place. Now, there may be realities that I go to where I'm not, but in this place, I was, and my hand looked similar to the hand that I have in the 3D world. I did feel, however, this was interesting too. I did feel that I wasn't wearing a shirt. I felt like I was bare chested, though I didn't really look down to see. I didn't feel like I was wearing a shirt. I was wearing bottoms, I'm pretty sure, but I don't think I was wearing a shirt. But I ran my hand along so I could see that. So that was one thing that I confirmed, and I could feel everything. I could feel the wall. Among the pictures, which I thought was very interesting, and that time in the U.S. history anyway was a very kind of conservative time, I think. There was a nude picture of this lady. I'm not going to go into specifics because we're on YouTube, but there was a nude, a tastefully taken nude black and white picture of this woman. And I kind of checked that out and I thought, okay, this is interesting. There's a nude picture of this woman. And then guys, I saw a picture of Hitler. Now, I know this. My experiences are very strange, and I see things. When I saw the picture of Hitler, I thought, that's Hitler, or it looks like Hitler to me. Now, it may not have been Adolf Hitler. I don't know, but what I'm telling you is, from my observation, whoever it was appeared to be Adolf Hitler and appeared to be wearing some sort of military outfit. And when I saw that picture, I thought World War II. The reason for this is because I have really begun to figure out a strategy to remember things better. And I think it's working pretty good now, where I take things that I see and I make kind of a simple way for me to remember. And when I saw this picture of what appeared to be Hitler, I thought World War II. So I saw one single picture of that person, and then I saw all these pictures of this lady that I was just checking it out, and I was just kind of looking around going, wow, this is fascinating. I wonder whose house this is. Now, it was interesting that this lady's pictures, all of these ladies' pictures, the pictures that were on the wall, this lady was white. I was black in this particular reality. So I'm like, I don't even know if I belong in this house or not. This version of me, I'm not even sure about any of this. I look out and I turned, I think I turned to the right, and I noticed that there was a section of this house that was completely open. There was no barrier, there was no wall, there was no window. I'm looking around my apartment right now. Of course, I have a patio, I have walls. There was none of that with this particular portion of space. It was completely open, guys, completely open. I thought that was unusual. And then from there, it went out into a patio, and then there was a fence. I remember that too. There was a fence. And beyond that, I think it was like a field. There was a field. This reminded me of maybe a farm area where people would farm and work on the land. So it was that kind of a field. And I saw a lady coming toward the house. I noticed out of the corner of my eye, African American again. This lady was African American. She had a bag of groceries in her hand, which I thought was interesting. And she was coming, and I immediately thought to myself, this lady is coming to this house. Oh my gosh, I need to get out of here. Now, I made a beeline for this open space, and I thought, well, can I fly? That's another thing I thought. Do I have the ability to fly in this reality? Because as I've told you before, there are certain physical realities where flight is possible. I jumped into the air, but came right back down to my feet, guys. No, this reality, flight was not possible. I was not able to fly. So I ran out of that open space, ran out, and then hopped the fence quickly as I could, because I'm like, if this lady comes into this house and sees me, I don't know what her reaction is going to be. I was kind of running out in the field, and maybe I wasn't running. I think I was walking in a very quick way. I don't think I wanted to draw too much attention to myself. I looked to the right side, and then I saw a little black girl, and she was still quite a distance away, toward perhaps another house, and she was walking with a lion, like a full-grown male lion with a mane. My God, guys, I looked at the lion and I went, oh my God, that's a lion. And she seemed to be treating it, I think, like a pet. At that point, suddenly, I was pulled back, and that was the experience. It was amazing, guys. And again, I would like to take a moment before I end this again to thank my guides for showing this to me. This was very interesting. I hope you enjoyed this experience. I certainly did. Thank you so much for coming on another journey with me. And until next time, take care.